When you read a lot of finance books and blogs, you come across a ton of different finance tips and tricks. This can make personal finance seem like a massive and overwhelming complicated topic, but it's really not. It is so simple that I have broken personal finance basics into 12 points. If you live by these 12 pieces of finance advice, you will have more control over your money and you will live a much better life financially. Keep in mind, this won't be easy. Although there are only 12 tips, if you are not already doing these habits, it is going to take you some time to build these new habits. Simply listening to these 12 tips and closing the video is not going to help you. You will need to put in some more effort than that. If it helps, save this video and revisit it every day. Or write these tips down and stick it somewhere that you will see it every day. Point number 1, spend less than you earn. Yeah, I know, it sounds obvious, right? Well, it must not be, because according to a survey, 78% of people working full-time are living paycheck to paycheck. Here is the thing. It is easy to know that you should be spending less than you earn. It is actually a lot harder to do it. However, if you want to escape the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle that a lot of most people live, you are going to need to spend less than you earn. This is one of the most crucial but basic finance tip ever. In order to do this, you will need to start tracking your spending. You can do this by either writing your purchases and spending down, or by using one of the free personal finance apps out there to track your spending. Number 2, learn to budget. You might hear the word budget and cringe a little bit, but you shouldn't. Budgeting is not hard, and it doesn't mean you should stop doing what you actually enjoy doing now. Budgeting is simply creating a plan for your money, so you know where your money goes at the end of every month. A popular and effective way to budget is with the 50-30-20 rule. How this works is 50% of your income goes towards your necessities. These are your bills, food, housing, etc. Then 20% of your income goes towards savings. And the remaining 30% you can use for whatever you want. This is a nice and easy way to break down your paycheck, but you might need to adjust it a little bit to suit your lifestyle. Point number 3, break down your income and expenses. This is an old trick that can change the perspective you have about money and help you budget better. It is about breaking down your income and expenses into daily values like this. If you make $2,500 a month, that's equal to $83 daily. If you pay $800 a month for rent, that's equal to paying $27 daily. If you are spending $200 a month on car insurance, that's equal to $7 daily. Everything else, that's food, gas, etc. If that comes to around $750 a month, that breaks down to $25 a day. That means you are left with $24 a day for spending. Want to save $1,000 for that nice vacation? Then you will know you have to save about 42 days of your spending income to accumulate that amount. That will mean 42 days of not spending a dime of your spending income. Want to buy a $10,000 car? That is about 416 days of that spending money that is left after deducting all those daily expenses. This will help you see how far back that some purchases are going to set you back and affect your spending ability. Point number 4, pay yourself first. This personal finance tip, supposedly coined by George S. Clason, author of The Richest Man in Babylon, is another common one that can make a huge impact on your personal financing. When you pay yourself first, you are investing into your financial future. You are investing in the future you, and the future you will thank the present you for doing so. So why not just pay yourself first at the end of every month? That's a lot easier, right? Well, the reason why paying yourself first works so well is that at the end of the month, when that money is sent into the savings account, you are less likely to have access to it and spend it. If you choose to wait till the end of the month to pay yourself after you've done all your spending, you might not have enough money left to put into your savings account. And trust me, the future you will be so sad with no money. Make future you happy by investing in yourself. And know this, the best way to pay yourself first is to do it automatically. Set up an auto deposit and you never think about paying yourself first anymore at the end of the month, because it will just happen without your personal intervention. And trust me, with time, your spending habits will adapt to the new money that you have to spend. Point number 5, have financial goals. If you want to accomplish your financial goals, you will first need to figure out which goals are important to you first. Having a clear goal will keep you motivated and help you come up with a plan to achieve it even faster. Now, don't think you need to set some outrageous goals. If this is your first thinking about setting personal finance goals, then I'll suggest that you start small and work your way up there. I am suggesting coming up with a few different goals in each of these categories. First, what you want to achieve the next 3 months. Secondly, what you want to achieve the next year. Thirdly, what you want to achieve the next 5 years. This way, you have short-term goals to look forward to and some long-term goals to work towards. Your short-term goals may even be smaller stepping stones towards your bigger long-term goals. Here are some examples of good financial goals. Save $1,000, buy a house, start investing. So remember to set short-term and long-term goals and keep track of them too. Write them down somewhere and set a day each month to keep track of them and see how you are trending towards them. Point number 6, a credit card is not free money. A credit card is a useful tool in your personal finance toolkit, but it's not free money for you to spend. When you purchase something with your credit card, you are basically borrowing money from the bank. If you don't give back that money in time, the bank is going to start charging interest on your balance. The debt can build up and become a monster if you don't pay off your balance at the end of every month. However, if you use credit card responsibly and pay off your balance at the end of every month, it is a good way to start building credit. Most credit cards have other benefits such as reward points, cashback, and travel points. So should you have a credit card? Well, I would say it depends. If you are capable of paying off your balance in full every month, then you should have no problem managing a credit card and staying out of debt. If you want to take it even further, I would suggest use a reloadable prepaid debit card instead of a credit card. These cards work just like a debit card but have the perks of a credit card. Note that prepaid reloadable cards won't help you build a credit though. Point number 7, stay out of bad debt. Debt means you owe somebody money. And if I've learned anything from gangster movies, you never want to owe someone money. However, not all debt is necessarily bad debt. So you may ask, what is bad debt? Bad debt is acquired through purchasing something that's going to lose value and generate zero revenue. The key words here is lose value and generate zero. Some examples of bad debt will be credit card debt and auto loan debt. So what is good debt? Some people say there's no such thing like good debt. And while I mostly agree, I can't deny that some debt can be beneficial in the right circumstances. For example, if you are taking out loan or taking up a debt to purchase something that's going to be beneficial to you financially in the future, I would say that's a debt that's more beneficial than a credit card debt. Good debts usually have lower interest rate too as well. Point number 8, have emergency fund. If you lost your job tomorrow, will you have enough money to live off until you find a new one? If not, then you are not alone. A study found that although most people are doing a better job at saving, around 24% of them don't have an emergency fund. Now, I don't want to be negative here, but emergencies happen all the time, like we saw with the pandemic. They may not happen to you, but it is important that you are prepared in case it happens. What I say is you can't predict an emergency, but at least you can be prepared when it happens. The best way to do this is to set up an emergency fund, which is about 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. This means if you lost your job tomorrow, you will have enough money to cover your living expenses for between 3 to 6 months until you can find a new one. And this will end up not affecting your family in any way. Here are some common financial emergencies that can happen: job loss, car problems, house repairs, natural disaster, medical or dental expenses. Still not convinced that you need an emergency fund? Point number 9, know your net worth. Net worth can seem like a tricky topic, but it's quite simple. Your net worth is how much money you are worth. It is simply if you sell everything you owe and decide to pay off every debt you owe, how much of your money will be left available to you. That is simply your net worth. Here is what it looks like in an equation form. Your net worth is equal to your assets, that's the things you owe, minus your liabilities, what you owe. Ready to calculate your net worth? Here is how. First, create a list of all the assets you owe and their estimated value. Here are some examples of some assets: money, investments, real estate, cars, jewelry, etc. At the bottom of the list, add up the total estimated value of all the things you've listed. Next, create a list of all your liabilities. That's what you owe. Here are some examples of liabilities: credit card debt, student loan, mortgage, car loan, etc. At the bottom of the list, add up the total value of all your liabilities. Now what you have is your total assets and your total liabilities. Plug those into the equation. What is left is your net worth. If you have a positive net worth, that's good. Continue working to increase your net worth even more. If you have a negative net worth, it is time to look into your budget and have a plan to increase your net worth. And if you don't have a budget, it's about time you start building a new one. If you are young and have a big student loan, you shouldn't worry too much because you haven't even started working yet. Make sure you recalculate your net worth at the end of every month so that you're up to date on your personal finances. I use a tool called Mint to track my net worth, but many people recommend Personal Capital as well. And you can find a link to these apps in the description. Point number 10, start investing. Investing is one of the best ways to increase your net worth, but a lot of people stay away from it because they are scared of losing their money. So instead of investing, they keep their money in a savings account. That is great. You should have some money in your savings account for emergencies that will happen. But the truth is, savings account loses its value over time. That is great, and you should have some money sitting in your savings account for emergencies that might happen. But the truth is, money sitting in a savings account loses its value over time. See, the average savings account has an average of 0.06% APY. That's average percentage yield, while inflation is normally above 1.7%. That means each year, the money sitting in that savings account is going to have less and less purchasing power. So what can you invest in to stay ahead of the inflation? Here are some few points that I suggest. You can do real estate, peer-to-peer lending, exchange traded funds, that's ETFs, stocks, or even cryptocurrency. But remember, crypto can be very volatile, so you invest at your own risk. Point number 11, communicate with your significant other. Notice how I said significant other. This financial tip does not apply to only married couples. Money fights can affect any relationship. The best way to avoid any fighting about money with your significant other is to talk to them about it. Remember that you are a team. You should be talking to each other about your financial goals, and you should set a date at least once every month to go over your financial goals and your finances together. A friend recently started doing a monthly money meeting with his wife, and it's been pretty fun for them. They get to see where each other are when it comes to their financial goals and keep themselves motivated towards achieving those goals. The bottom line is, don't let money ruin a great relationship. Point number 12, and I can't stress this enough, get a side hustle to make more money. Are you happy with the amount of money you are taking home at the end of every year? If you are like most of us, a little bit of extra cash at the end of every month can go a long way. So why not start a side hustle to supplement your primary income? Don't worry, you don't have to sacrifice all your free time in order to start a successful side hustle. One of the big advantages of side hustling is you can do it when you want and as much or as little as you want. The best advice I can give you is, whatever you are thinking of, just start. Use any extra time that you can find and make progress on it every day. Soon, you'll be addicted to the side hustle lifestyle. You might be wondering, how much money can I really make with a side hustle? Well, that's the awesome thing about side hustling. The income is virtually limitless. Since you are not getting paid by the hour or by a set salary, it is really up to you to decide how much you want to earn. The more you feed your side hustle, the more it grows. So there you have it, the personal finance basics laid out in 12 points. Now I've got a question for you. Did you learn anything new from these personal finance tips and tricks? If you did, then take action. Start working on improving your personal finances today, not tomorrow. It is easier to listen to these tips and think, oh, I can calculate my net worth tomorrow, or I'll set up auto deposits at the end of next month. But if you say this stuff, you are just coming up with excuses. Take action today and you'll be one step closer to your financial success. Finally, I would like to hear from you. What is one finance tip that you wish somebody told you earlier? Let me hear from you in the comment section. Let's interact there so we can learn from each other. And if you are new here, please click on the subscribe button to join this family and hit the like button so that other people can also see this content. Thank you.